This is Barry from the Brewed Palate. I'm here with Josh from the Bronx Homebrewers Association and Dave, the manager of the Bronx Ale House here in the Bronx, New York. So, Josh, can you just tell us a little bit about the history of the Bronx Homebrewers Association and, what brought you to opening an actual club in the Bronx?
Well, Dave and I, for a long time, we met talking about cheese, and then from there we started talking about beer and everything, and I think for probably about a year back and forth we're like, yeah, let's make beer. I made beer and David really wanted to get into it, and we knew of different clubs in the area, which is really not that far, but not like I can walk here and it's great. So we talked for about a year doing it, and then all of a sudden I think it was August of 2013, we decided you know what, if we don't do it now, it's not going to happen. So we just had our first meeting, and the Ale House here seemed like a great place to just kind of get going. So, our club has been relatively small, roughly six to eight solid members since August of 2013. And it's been really, really great to have something super close, super local, to learn about beer, to talk about beer, and to kind of share what everybody does here.
Right. And for you, Dave, what has it been like to bring the homebrewing part of beer to your bar?
Well, craft beer is the focus of the Bronx Ale House. I've been here for 3 years, and I just wanted to go for myself. Even I wanted to take that next step. I had always talked about brewing beer. Josh and I had talked about starting up a club here, and it was my way of just really taking that next step. And finally, it took me a long time to get it done, even when we had already started the Bronx Homebrewers, to get that first one under my belt. But now I just brewed my second one, so the whole idea was to just remind myself, remind the customers, remind everyone that we are truly a craft beer bar, and we'll take that extra step. And I wanted to do something very local.
And something I like to plug on the Brewed Palate is sharing the experience of homebrew. It's for you, you've been brewing a little longer than me. We've been brewing since 2009. So what is, to you, what does the club aspect add to your homebrewing experience in general?
I think inspiration is a lot of it. I know when I go to different places to try beers, I want to try something I haven't had before.
Right.
Be why is that cool? Or they use this cool ingredient or this hop that I've never heard of, and then take it the next step, not just taste that flavor, but then when you share with other homebrewers, it's all right, well, I taste this, and how'd you do it? And they get to share that with you, and it's usually when you brew a beer, even if you do something really special with it and you do it again, it's not going to be the same, and so getting to gain that knowledge and that experimentation is really cool.
Yeah, for sure. I'm running a craft beer bar, of course you get to see hands-on the variety of craft beer, but, I find that home brewing is a big part about what, when you brew it yourself, you see what exactly it takes to brew that great beer. Of course you can go on a brewery tour and, and see the process, but until you actually sit there and see, go from A to Z with your own batch, it's a totally different experience. So you've seen a lot of homebrewers come through here. So what is it really like, seeing the variety and then translating it to homebrewing now that you're starting, and is really seeing what it really takes to brew a good beer?
Well, I worked for Harpoon for a short amount of time, doing sales, and one of the things that I had to do for my training was to go for a full brew day. But I was just kind of standing there, watching the process from the beginning of the Harpoon IPA, one full brew day, to the end of the day. And by the end, I still didn't know exactly what was going on. But when you're actually brewing it, when you're adding the malts, when you're adding the hops, when you're sitting there, 100% your beer, you completely understand and appreciate the process on a completely just higher level.
Right. Getting back to a little bit about, just to wrap this up a little bit, about the Bronx Homebrewers Association. what are some kind of the unique things that you've kind of thought of about having a homebrew club in the Bronx? You know, each homebrew club in New York City, you know, there's the New York City Homebrewers Guild, which is like the one that really brings all the boroughs together. But now all the boroughs themselves have really created their own clubs. I know there's the Brooklyn Bruisers, and the Astoria Queens has its own thing, and now the Bronx. So like, what do you know? I know you were still the Bronx club is kind of in its infancy almost, because there's clubs like the New York City Homebrewers Guild has been around for 25 years. But what are your goals now that you see like there actually are brewers in Uptown Manhattan and the Bronx? What are your goals now as we continue to grow the Bronx Homebrewers Association?
I'd say the main goal, and like, you know, I think for any club, is to learn how to brew better beer. You know?
Right,
and even though we haven't even been around for a year, like we were part of the 25th anniversary for the New York City Homebrewers Guild.
Right.
You know, we're already reaching out to new breweries that like are opening up in the Bronx. Like, you know, Single Cut just opened up in Queens, and now Gun Hill Brewing Company is opening up in the Bronx. The Bronx Brewery is like they're about to be able to brew their own beer in the Bronx. So like, it's kind of a new charted territory
For sure.
as far as breweries go. And like, you know, every meeting, like, we'll get an influx of like a couple people here and there, some from Westchester, some from like the Bronx, or some from wherever, that like want to learn about what people are doing, you know, just like creating that greater community
For sure.
here in the Bronx. And as far as I know, we're the only one in this borough as of yet that where homebrewers can come and like share ideas and share beers. You know,
Right.
hopefully, eventually, I hope that will change. But for now, this is a good place to start.
Yeah, so if you're a home brewer and you live in Upper Manhattan in the Bronx Homebrewers Association meets the second Tuesday of every month at Bronx Ale House, or different locations. You look them up on Facebook to, you know, stay on the up and up. But I'm definitely thankful that I finally came to a meeting to get to know you guys, and cheers to you guys for starting the
beer.
Yeah, but you know, cheers to you guys for starting it, and I look forward to doing a lot more work with you guys in the future.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.